These are this afternoon's top stories. Former SSMC employees may receive payments as early as September this year. More groups in Guyana are calling for the resignation of the country's embattled health minister. And Australia withdraws its ambassador to Indonesia following the execution of 2 of its nationals. Good afternoon and welcome to the ZIZ Channel 5 Midday Newscast. Today is Wednesday, April 29th, 2015. I am JD Keynes. In national developments, the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris announced on Tuesday during his second monthly press conference that it is likely that former St. Kitts Sugar Manufacturing Corporation employees will receive their share of EC $16 million by September 19th, Independence Day 2015.
It is tentatively proposed that this committee will complete its report soonest, and that we will make a single payment, single installment, not 3 as were done last time. Single payment to the former sugar workers on or before independence of 2015. So that may well be their Independence Street.
Prime Minister Harris said the committee that was formed to ensure that former sugar industry workers are paid continues to work diligently. He revealed that plans are afoot to open a secretariat in Bastia that will make it easier for the former employees' concerns and recommendations to be heard.
I can report that a secretariat will be opened shortly in Bastia to receive reports, concerns, and even recommendations from former sugar workers. To ensure the views and concerns of all are considered, the committee has asked for a bit more time to put forward their final report. I have granted that very reasonable request. I repeat, we in this government will not hurry ourselves, lest we live by the maxim, hurry dog eats rock on.
Parliamentary Representative for Constituency 1, the Honorable Ian Patches Liebert, has planned a town hall meeting for Thursday, April 30th. Liebert, who holds the post of Minister of Public Infrastructure, Urban Development, Post and Transport in the Federal Parliament, is expected to update constituents on his work in office and hear their concerns about further developing East Bastia. Thursday's town hall meeting will commence at 7 p.m. at the Newtown Community Center at Pond Pasture in Bastia. The Early Childhood Development Unit is continuing to provide the best possible environment for young children as it assesses daycare centers on St. Kitts to ensure that they meet the minimum standards requirements for operation. According to Director of the Early Childhood Development Unit, Jacqueline Morris, centers which meet the minimum standards will receive a license which will alert clients that they have been approved by the Early Childhood Development Unit. It is then left up to parents to decide whether their children will attend a daycare center. The Early Childhood Development Monitoring Checklist is the official assessment tool used in carrying out assessments and includes the physical environment, health and safety, food safety and nutrition, record keeping, the learning environment, program structure, program management, learning activities, care practices, as well as the high scope approach. Regionally, the Women and Gender Equality Commission has joined those calling for the resignation of Health Minister Dr. Barry Ramsuran over his verbal attack on a female activist.
The Women and Gender Equality Commission has called for the resignation of embattled Health Minister Dr. Barry Ramsuran over his verbal assault of women's rights activist Shalina Najir. The commission, headed by Indra Chandapal, a long-standing member of the governing People's Progressive Party (CIPIC) and also candidate on the party's list of candidates heading into the May 11th elections, in a release said it was dismayed by the comments made by the minister. According to the commission, despite claims that the minister was goaded into such an outburst, he should have acted with restraint, recognizing that he is a public official. The commission also said the minister's reaction was uncalled for and unacceptable for any person, and that he must face the full consequences of his action and offer his resignation, as it is a decent thing to do. No woman or any person deserves to be treated in that manner, as the commission called on all Guyanese to join in the condemnation of the minister's action and the actions of any person that seeks to degrade women. The Commission's condemnation comes after other civic groups, diplomatic community, and the political parties criticized the minister. Meanwhile, in the face of the criticism, the governing party has said it spoke sternly to the minister, which was not accepted by Niger and several rights activists. Niger has since made a formal report of the abuse to Crime Chief Leslie James on Monday at the Criminal Investigations Department. Reporting for Capital News, I am for Wharton.
Governor General Her Excellency Dame Perlette Louise on Tuesday morning formally declared open the 5th session of the 10th Parliament. Plans to protect family life and children, boost energy liberalization, promote fiscal responsibility, and protect St. Lucia's borders featured prominently in the Governor General's broad outlay of the government's agenda for the financial year.
The throne speech was preceded by the inspection of the Honour Guard by the Governor-General. The head of state early in her presentation espoused the importance of having hope in the future, even in the face of world issues such as terrorism and crises that include humanitarian disasters and diseases. The Governor-General spoke on government's pursuit of a safe and secure future, stating that the drought in local economic fortunes may well be receding.
Our economy is now poised to return to a cycle of growth, barring unforeseen circumstances. The sacrifices of the past have yielded results, but I must caution that we are not yet out of the woods, so to speak, and further measures will be necessary to ensure that we are safe and secure. However, with our fiscal deficit nearing more reasonable and prudent limits, my government is better positioned to invest in major infrastructure to drive growth in our economy, attract new investment, and reduce unemployment.
Addressing crime prevention and security, the Governor-General warned that the island's homicide rate is still too high. The head of state also noted that government will seek to strengthen border security. To this end, the government will introduce an advanced passenger information bill currently being developed by the OECS. And in health, the Governor-General said it is government's hope that by the next session of Parliament, St. Lucia would have opened 2 world-class health facilities, namely the Dr. Owen King EU Hospital at Millennium Heights and the new St. Jude Hospital in Vieux-Fort. The 2 health facilities will be the result of an injection of over $270 million in the healthcare sector.
The Dr. Owen King EU Hospital was envisaged by government to replace the inadequate Victoria Hospital, and it represents the largest single donation made by the European Union in the Eastern Caribbean. With their continued help, we are upskilling and training staff while installing specialized equipment prior to commissioning. My government is hopeful that St. Jude Hospital will be ready for commissioning in early 2016. In this regard, we are grateful for the bilateral support provided by a number of countries, particularly the Republic of China, Taiwan, but also, most recently, the government of Mexico.
The legislative agenda also includes bills and amendments in areas such as energy liberalization, family life and children, a national youth service bill, Customs Management Act, and the legislative framework to allow citizenship by investment. Alison Kentish, HTS News Force.
Internationally, a diplomatic backlash is underway after 8 drug traffickers, 7 of them foreigners, were executed by Indonesian firing squad. Chief among them is Australia, who has recalled their ambassador to Indonesia.
A diplomatic backlash is underway as ambulances emerged carrying the coffins of 8 drug traffickers, 7 of them foreigners, executed by an Indonesian firing squad. Indignation has been loudest from Australia over the death sentences carried out early today against its 2 citizens, Andrew Chan and Myron Sukumaran. With the other condemned men, they're said to have sung hymns and refused blindfolds in their final moments. Trade ties between their country and Indonesia will continue, but Australia has recalled its ambassador.
We respect Indonesia's sovereignty but we do deplore what's been done, and this cannot be simply business as usual. I want to stress that this is a very important relationship between Australia and Indonesia, but it has suffered as a result of what's been done.
Indonesia shrugged off the diplomatic recall, saying it would just be short-term. Brazil had already withdrawn its ambassador over an earlier execution. This time, the family of Rodrigo Golata had pleaded for clemency on the grounds of mental illness, to no avail. A stay of execution was granted to a female prisoner from the Philippines.
Nigerian military forces claim to have rescued almost 300 women and girls from Boko Haram. The details in this report.
Nigeria's army claims to have rescued 200 girls and 93 women during a military operation to win back the Sambisa forest from Boko Haram militants. However, despite intelligence suggesting otherwise, the girls abducted from a school in Chibok in April last year are not thought to have been among those freed. Along with the operation in the Sambisa forest, Nigeria's army has in recent months seized back most of the land previously under control of Boko Haram. The Chibok girls were last seen in a video made by the militants. Their abduction, over 200 of them, sparked global outrage, with many joining an online campaign to free them using the hashtag #BringBackOurGirls. Last October, the Nigerian government said it had secured an agreement for a ceasefire and the girls' release, but Boko Haram denied this.
Turning now to the weather. Conditions across St. Kitts and Nevis will be mostly fair and hazy today and tonight, with little or no shower activity. Winds are southeasterly at 12 to 18 miles per hour, with lighter spells overnight. Seas are slight to moderate, with swells of 1.2 meters or 4 feet. Across the eastern Caribbean, the atmosphere will remain warm, dry and stable over the next 24 hours. Therefore, from Hispaniola southwards to Trinidad and Tobago, skies will be mostly fair and hazy, with very little shower activity. The weather brings us to the end of ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in our major news presentation. I have been your presenter, JD Keynes. Have a great day.